Piece of your fragmented heart. This is for a condensed form of communication to one. More audiences. Some purpose to aim, not always to know the writer or the speaker. Now I imagine it gone like smoke, verbal memories. So these are all left, it's gone in existence. Now I know they're kept in the drawer because they're people that have told these are never really fade for the disappear. For the gray matter up under the hair, for some days I'm tired of this, be exhausting. Trying to speak when no one's listening. Fretting over writing and much information. This is something to have the words, so this is to know why I keep at it for the still that sometimes I'm panning for to go to find it. In a rush. Or the long haul, what is this? This is World of Wonder. The reason not to do this is before for the much of the rant for the consideration of myself to be a poem, but this is doing 3 today for just to get the monopoly of the pretense. And I lie in the casket to pretend I'm dead. Just to have a heart. And can't believe it at all is what you believe. In the presence. And I've had the heart to be quite broken enough to read your words if they were spoken and never to always love you for the rest of my life if you didn't want to. I have another chapter that I picked up and gave to you the Nican. This will give you all my all, for this is never enough. For this is reading the memories for the right for that extremely tough fate. Woman I never ever met. You can find out for the best of you. Left it direct for this is you merely escaping the thing. This is abandoned you for the felt for the sting. Spent many years trying to run back to the punishment for the never woman's crime, and never to hate myself for the even the second best. This is finally left alone for the search like the rest. Enjoy life for the nature of the heart. So for the few words of the wisdom for the young self. It's better to be left up with the chef and to put up in the lesson you deserve and to put off with the priority for what you reserve. And this is all a chapter. Deliver me for the mind and me some this God defend me from that to rise up. Got to make that statement that an angel was born and the queen of angels and I never to know the name of the angel. Sometimes you can wind the clouds of the grave but they can turn away for the hope of the light is the grave. Breathing and buffing and breathing up and boarding up and you can find a new day for the hellos and the helios coming around again for this the legend that began for every night it gates upon us and pondering why I felt trapped. A new day. You fly as a true little bird for the rain falls in the long for the fly amongst the clouds for the play with the gods that dance with the stars and I'm born with the chains that keep me to the land of sorrow and grief. I can feel that for the drowning in the tears and the shed to feel light but the wind is arresting and over they'll ever be free with the chains a little bird for the envy the beautiful life along the clouds. You're proud of nothing. Your feelings in the stars roll back in the brightest colors for the embers of the page that ignited for the prettiest of the handwriting you ever seen for the display for the finest page in your heart, fine cursive. Want to give the world for the tip of the heart for this know to be engulfed for the enough for the warmth to keep the enough for the peace for the heavens and the wonder demand for the know for the sea for myself loving you to feel the same kind of hope and happiness and the felt for this was a child for the deserve of the galaxy. I'm growing tired of hoping with my heart and wanting to work with the hands and watching the lifeline happen and touch. Losing insanity for the blocking of life in the universe and there's in your head for the crazy that comes to call. Break me down for the only everyone to run for the free for the never to running from me for this thought of my choosing for the losing insanity again for the someone said forever was yesterday for the open your heart for the crazy comes around break me down. I'm only innocent for the howling of the moon for the knowing that soon enough that this will always be confusing and losing my insanity. Perfect enough for the wheels in the mind for this around down to this around down around to this final bleeding in the other side for the head is only waiting for the ride. Once everything reaching for the all for the quick and the draw for the never the not and choosing for the never the sanity again for the losing. Choosing the rabbit hole for the now the cause of this worthless without a purpose and enough of the nothing and enough of the listening for the bottle of the gin and trying to how ironic. Piece of your fragmented heart. This is for a condensed form of communication to one. More audiences. Some purpose to aim, not always to know the writer or the speaker. Now I imagine it gone like smoke, verbal memories. So these are all left, it's gone in existence. Now I know they're kept in the drawer because they're people that have told these are never really fade for the disappear. For the gray matter up under the hair, for some days I'm tired of this will be exhausting. Trying to speak when no one's listening. Fretting over writing and much information. This is something to have the words, so this is to know why I keep at it for the still that sometimes I'm panning for to go to find it. In a rush. For the long haul, what is this? This is World of Wonder. The reason not to do this is before for the much of the rant for the consideration of myself to be a poem, but this is doing. And every memory is just a fun pond. And this time for the hard way for the holding of my hand. Call me on your bull. Never the cruel for the pain I got. So this is air for the yo demon will dance at the tear in my eyes. And fever for the comfort, the warming of my soul and such. Virus that helped escape my skull for the scalping of the soul in such way for the air does escape for this the soul that fears not for the pain for the such a demon for the you for the roses of autumn for the soul does not escape for this to be the pain that dies within me. So many friends in the heaven for which I see for the never the demon the ways that are free for the other souls will never define a ray for the this would be the dancing and the gold for the top of the that for the death cry and never the little brother for the daughter but the grace of this is such for the dark place of the wait for the rest of this within the body for the buried and never the beneath the shining tears. My eyes do not see the souls to tell the story for the dance of the streets of the gold for the never the free for the be the free for the soul for the virus will pass and never to find that but outlast that for the crazy to laugh for the dying days of the blood and the soul for the stuck in the ways and so you made your bed and laid. Enough for the still alive and never to find the beautiful the people enough for the sky for the map unchanging lights in the night for this to see the earth for the moon and Mars and the stars and the fire and the far this is not for the map of those who define the God and unchanging pursuing you for the heart and soul for the net might be busy for the instead of the suffering for the might be respond to Jesus. Please, who died for the crossing you? Who died for the loss of you, for the gathered me and two for the soft arms, and never the sure this with the final days as it was yesterday as a child for the lonely. Oh God, I never defined it believing in the ages until you came for this alone to save my life, for the heart for the transforming of the storm to flesh of this, and now I'm able to lose and receive again. Receive love for the mirror for the each, and I catch that sight for the long, the unseen, for the happy, and the smiling to me. It was yesterday's child for the busy streets of your horns, and ever the sun goes this west hiding in the clouds, this to find little things and about that for the this in your life, and the him and her for the fireworks of the fireflies, the red moon and red wine and ice cream you find to say about an angel for the gathering things into the salt dark for the ensure for this will be the final days and you'll find the way teardrops everywhere for this to be the teardrops in my scrambled eggs and teardrops in my coffee, my drink for my think for the writing of the notebook for the soothing of the wallet for whether or not you can pay the price. I am not for the swiping of a relationship for the value and the meaning for the generation for the stead of that for the meeting a new partner for the friends and new for through your work for the truth and not for the hate for the appreciating of what you can find to come to my life at the single time that you did for the little light laying in arms and the helpless but the home with the nerve to put that for the trembling over the trembling over fumbling over what you fascinate for the job that you call the God to bring for this person like that for the need to this wake up and wait just wait for the training for the preparation for the never the know that they're already for the man for the need for the hurry up already for the just to be to make haste and let that light be in for the disciplining up the shades and never to open up the windows for the golden light for the dis be blinds that you can find out see sight this is thing through the heart this is to the lies and the sense the smile never the bunt to the kissing for the cover over your face in the bliss cancel your contract for disagree for because you signing up and never to the love now for the promise you never feel lonely again and never the feeling for the lonely and never to have a memory for the fascinate that you can find this selected joy hurt the most of this is in the fact or what you find in the chest this is money for the root for the all evil for the, you can find what grows this habitat for this is high for the hurting into the adaptation for the never the cry for the never the hear me for the other side of the door for the who's knocking least brush up upon the skin for the holding of what you can find vividly for the belong to you the moon drunk monster why do you howl for the melancholy cry for this the man desire for the animal in your eye for the got me for the thinking of for the wild for the branding for the high for the mountain for the poetry for the side of that for the changing and turning of the many the head glory call me fanatic but without the presence in my life do not exist I'm hyperbold for the effort I can find the writing over the nerves to take for this board for the mistakes and to find the ugly for the please don't see me for the I am ugly or for the letter for the different to be to walk the Disney for this to be the love and the effort and the happiness and peace say the least save the rest save the best for the beginning for the people that are no longer with you for the memories are still remaining for and every memory is just a fun and this time for the hard way for the holding of my hand call me on your board. nothing, never the listening for the bottle for the gin. And you can find a tonic and never to find a this beside that. Counter all the thoughts, this to be toxic. Inside of the head for the suffocating, and all I can do is bleed. Which is that the last thing, and I need to attempt to break that chain. For this is more than the ending up of the vein. And not even for the Novocaine, that you can find the numb to the pain. For this disarrangement, for the detriment, for the judgment, for the resting of yourself, for the engagement, for the rather that, for the watching afar. Proud of the people's festivities, and over the dedication of the hints of the perception of the bizarre, the thirst of the reason, regarding for the isolation, for this to be apart, for how far gone I am in a throw of hope. The skies, the road for the down, the rabbit hole. Hope. This betrayed and never find, this prepared, my heart mending in the mind for the cleansing. This fine feelings and over the ember. Star go back to the brightest colors of the embers. The page ignited for the prettiest and the finest on display. And watching a life was happening and that touch, just finding the insanity for the rock, for the writer. Who was wrong for the heaven to say confusion, the lack of confusion about the Jennifer. Just to find this for who's listening. Anyway, for the prepared, for the bad weather, for the hunger you got. Moment for not to cry. Room for the revision, for the compassion, for the pain becomes something impossible for the refashion. Dreamt of that rain, resting to the left or the side, for the intrusive thoughts that ignite that go unnoticed. And I waited for the view to never wait so long, but never to find the grace my lips to didn't move on. For this to be the only passing and to see the heart start. Help you get out of my mind, I'm disenchantment, for this to refusing me over the tentacle of the launch, reaching me for the people find things that have to remember the way you felt, but then quickly enough and how you wish it was by the time. Chasing a butterfly, passing by gyms, losing yourself in the garden full of joy. Fly on the field, the warm leaf, for this is success and all that ensued, for the life of the brand and you were huge, for the acting of the interview, for them to find it. Let's be remembered. You just talk about for just a week's time, for the non-thinking mind, for the heavens and the world that end up there, for this run up swift for the enough of the promise and bread about it. Abraham promised this and that, years away for the never to comprehend this. Left a mark in my mind like a tattoo for the center of my palm. For this, often kiss the top of the forehead for the felt, for the keep it calm enough that you can find the reaching. Sound to be heard from nowhere for the particular. Stand up to take the weapons and over to find the only love. For this to say that never seems enough, for this is time to find a phrase, and never to want to understand for the really meaning of what you say, for the how feeling is so much that you can do. The words describe you, how beautiful it is, and special. Love for the purpose of the two things in the words, and define them to quantify them over the reaction of what you take in an article, or a miracle, or a particle. And I'm a warrior for the hydro, warrior for the broken and bruised. And this war that wasn't take place in your history books. So this is an anchor for the never you lost. Let me be your anchor for the holding down with what you drift away for the beacon in your dark. I am. What hurts the most of this finally isn't the fact that you aren't loved in the return, for the fact that you aren't unloved and never the one that can love you. Simple love with a peer to touch, never the stride to stray. Your eye never knew, they're never had the spoken in a long time for the thought that you should and have the rest of it. You can find the moon, but they never left a conversation with them. You can have the sun, but never tell them about you. And privacy that everyone deserves, that's no matter how much you love them, for they never define truth. This is sacrifice, this is let you go, for this is believing I will get it out the hesitation. Find that social media butterfly, for this a hashtag for you to find this left. Sitting outside, drinking never to find the feeling in the air, for the never to thank, for the God thank there, for the people that everywhere, for the wonderful deeds, and never to find the time I planned, but I would bring pictures that don't lie, for the lying on the bed, for the revisiting of the old, you can find the studying of the old expression. And life goes on for the land is being washed away, for the crashing of the waves against that coast, and for the sea levels that rise rapidly out of control. Roaming of the soul, for this life goes on, for the waters rise deeper than ever the coastal city's life, and you find them submerged and life goes on, for the nuclear between that, for the countless of people that are left to perish and life goes on. The oxygen goes on for the earth, for never the air is too toxic to breathe, and never the human race has been made to flee the stars and life goes on. Last night to tango for the few hours that I held in my arms, we tangled away for the night, for the moment, for the great depression, yeah, how far we can go for the last of the 100 years, for the never to let them fool you for the dumb. Play pretend alive for the pretend the depression, over the never pretend to relax, never to make believe, for this almost a touch death for the funny word, for what is told for the worthless, without a purpose, never the I am nothing, never the listening for the bottle for the gin, and you can find the tonic and never the find the this beside that. Countering all thoughts just to be toxic. Inside of the head for the suffocating, and all I can do is bleed. Which is that the last thing, and I need to attempt to break that chain. For this is more than the ending up of the vein, and not even for the Novocaine. That you can find the numb, the pain, for this disarrangement, for the detriment, for this judgment, for the resting yourself, and engagement, for the rather that, for the watching afar. Part of the people's festivities, and over the dedication of the hints of the perception, for the bizarre, over the thirst of the reason, regarding for the isolation, for this to be on the par, for how far gone and having to throw hope, disguise of the road for the down the rabbit hole, and mope, and this portrayed and ever defined, this prepared, my heart mending in the mind for the cleansing, order, this to find feelings, and over the ember, star rolled back for the brightest colors of the embers of the page ignited for the prettiest, and you can find this is on display. Watching and lifeless happening and at the touch, just finding losing in the sanity for the block, or the writer, who was wrong for the never to say confusion, or lack of the confusion about the gender, for just to find this for who's listening. Anyway, for the prepared, for the bad weather, for the whom you got, moment for not to cry, and the room for the revision, for the compassion, for the pain becomes something impossible for the refashion, and dreamt of that brain, resting for the left, for the side, for the intrusive thoughts that ignite that to go unnoticed. And I waited for the you to never, the week so long, for the never to find the grace my lips to dip and move on, for this to be the only passing of the sea, the heart to start. It helped you get out of my mind, find disenchantment for this profusely over the tentacles, and then watch reachingly for the you can find the thing to have some memory for the way you felt, for then quickly enough and how you wish to go back to time. Chasing a butterfly passing by gently, for losing yourself at the garden full of joy.